why pay someone to do something that you can easily do at home and it won't take long? And like I already said, it's really easy to do. I know it's easy to do because I've been doing it for years. What I'm talking about today is how to change your engine oil in your car. First thing you should know is why changing your engine oil is important. According to carandriver.com, old engine oil can cause engine failure, and engine failure will basically total your car. So over time, your engine oil, it collects dirt and debris and just mud and all that stuff from just driving in daily use. It also, your engine gets really, really hot and can also get really, really cold, and that waves of temperature like that can cause the engine to lose its viscosity. And viscosity is another way of just kind of saying how runny the liquid is. You want a pretty high viscosity depending on your engine, so the moving pieces in your engine can glide together better. So your engine oil, it acts as a lubricant between moving pieces like this. You want a good layer right here between the pieces so they can glide together really, really smooth. If you have old engine oil or the wrong engine oil, the viscosity is not meant for what it's doing. So the engine oil, the metal pieces rub together really, really fast against each other, which is not good at all. The last thing you want in a car is metal on metal contact. And that causes a lot of friction, especially because how fast those moving pieces are going. And friction creates heat, and friction can also make little bitty shavings of metal and debris to get into your engine and just wear it out even faster. So now that you know why changing engine oil is important, I'll tell you where you can get an oil and filter. So where I get my engine, or where I see what kind, first of all, is in my owner's manual that came with the car. It'll say what kind of oil and what kind of filter you need to use. And you can go to most auto parts stores across the nation, like O'Reilly or AutoZone or something like that. But where I go, and is a little cheaper than most stores like that, is Walmart. They've got everything you need, just like the rest of the stores, but it's usually a little cheaper. And if you can't find the oil you need in your owner's manual or online, you can, most of the time they'll have a little book on the shelf that'll say like what year, make, and model of your car is, and you can just look through there and see what it is. According to AAA.com, most engines have a recommended intervals of 5,000 to 7,000 miles, and MotorBiscuit.com says you should replace your oil filter with every change. So obviously that's going to depend on where you live and how often you drive your car and how dirty the air is where you live and all that. And Meineke.com said dirt can cause corrosion and decrease the life of an engine. And AAA.com also says the oil filter is a very important part of your car. So most people kind of don't really take into consideration how important the oil filter is and just kind of skimp on that and get something not as important. But the oil filter is what keeps your engine oil clean so that you have good fresh oil all the time. But over time, that oil filter, it gets dirt built up into it, and it just can't get any more dirt going through it. So at that point, you need to get a new oil filter, and it is recommended to get a new filter every time you get your oil. It's just a good habit to go ahead and do. There's nothing wrong with doing it. And lastly, I'm going to explain how to change your oil, how to actually change your oil. So first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get your car on a pretty flat and level surface, and you're going to want to jack up the front end. And if you have jack stands, that'd be great. You can put them on those. They're just a little more stable than jack is. So what you're going to do is you're going to crawl under, and sometimes, just depending on the car, they have a little dust shield, and it's just kind of a piece of sheet metal that kind of covers all the important parts. But usually it's just 4 little screws holding it up, and you can just get a little screwdriver or a wrench and just take that right off. And after you get that dust shield or heat shield, just depending on who you ask what it's called, once you get that off, you can go ahead and find your oil plug. And once you take that off, make sure you have your oil pan underneath where the oil plug is, because it's gonna be a little messy. So make sure when you take that off, you let it drain completely. You let it drain as much as it can until it's just a very, very slow drip. And then you can go ahead and put the plug back in. And make sure you wipe it down as you're going. Next thing you're going to want to do is locate your oil filter. And this part's a little trickier. It's usually a little higher up. And it's usually got a little oil in it. So be careful when you're taking that part out to not spill it all over yourself and all that. So once you've got that out, you're going to get your new oil filter, and then be sure you get a little oil on the gasket, on the kind of, this is like the opening of the oil filter, kind of put it on the edge just so it goes on easier. And then before you put it in, pour a little bit of oil into the actual filter just so it runs better and all that. And then once that, you pop open the hood, pour in your fresh oil, pour in the right amount, and you're good to go. And just like that, you're done changing your oil. So today I shared how to change your oil, why it is important to change your oil, and where to get oil. While I've shared how to change your oil, there's only really one way to know how to do it, and that's to get under your car and get your hands dirty.